Hello and welcome to my treehouse. This is Amethyst Star Willow with you again, and we're going to do an intuitive reading today. So, with that said, think about the pile that you want. On pile one, group A, you have a Herkimer Diamond. Group B, you have a Black Tourmaline. I hope you can see that. And group C, you have a Pink Petalite. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute. Sorry, these are a little bit wobbly. Yeah, I'm feeling better. No, Kitty. Kitty's like, he wants to come over. No, 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 I love you too, but you can't come over because you like to play. So anyway, with that said, go ahead and pick your group that resonates with you. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you come to it, that's when you're meant to have it. And just take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You know best what fits you. So just, close your eyes, take a moment, breathe, and just see what resonates with you, what group you're drawn to. Timestamps will be in the description. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to begin, and I'm going to put group 3 over here, group 2 over here. Normally I put it on the other side, but Kitty's there, and yeah, he's being a kitty. So, as I said before, this is an intuitive reading. So for those of you that chose group A, you have a Herkimer Diamond. And Herkimers they're stones of transmutation, and they are one of the highest. They're like billions and billions of years old. This is a rough one. You can still see there's pieces of the matrix on the back. There's pieces like a new little one growing back here. You can see that, if you can see that. I don't know if you can see this new little one growing off the big one, which reminds me, kind of makes me feel like you're growing something new. There's a new level to you. I also see rainbows. I don't know if you could tell, but there are rainbows back there. So I feel like you're birthing something. You've been birthing something. Herkimer is a great amplifier for not only your desires, but for like the highest spiritual energy. It has one of the highest spiritual energies. And if you're looking for spiritual attunement, it's a great stone to work with. But I really, like I said, or just cleansing or healing, because it doesn't really have a very high, bright vibration. Hold on a second. I'm going to jump up. There we go. So hopefully you can hear me better now. I have to sit on a pillow and kind of elevate myself a little bit so I'm closer to the mic. What else do I want to say about it? It emanates, like I said before, it emanates one of the highest spiritual vibrations. There's lots of rainbows in this one. So what I feel too, and I'm seeing all these little fractures of rainbows, or fractals of rainbows, plus this birth of new. And what I feel like when I hold this one is like there's great potential within you and great desire to manifest something else, to change part of yourself so that you can change your outer world. And that's what I feel with many of you in this group A at the moment. Again, take what resonates. There's many parts to you, and many parts, it's as if you're growing simultaneously. Many different areas of your life are growing simultaneously as your awareness rises higher. So I'm going to leave it there for right this second. Actually, maybe we'll put her here. And we're going to leave your oracle cards right over here for right now. And we'll come back to that one, and then I'll pull other cards as well. And we begin with this card. This is the, God, I forget the name of this deck. As above, so below. So your very first card that you have is the Sun. And I'm going to lay them out, and then we'll get to them. I'm going to lay them out. Actually, you know what? Let's just begin with the Sun, and we'll just take this as it goes. And what I really feel here is that many of you, the Sun is very empowering, and many of you, I feel like, came from a place of shadow, a place where you were not nourished, where you were malnourished. Maybe you didn't get the nourishment you needed from those around you. And this could be in the past, or it could be in the past and, like in the present and throughout your life in different areas of your life. But I think too that this is this inner child that didn't receive the nourishment. And because you didn't receive the nourishment, I feel that some of you may have kind of got these feelings of of not having worth, of not knowing, not feeling your own brightness, your own sense of empowerment. And you've managed to turn this around. Many of you have managed to turn this around, or are turning this around, or in the actual process of turning this around. And it's very important to even just go outside in the mornings or at some point, and you can just go outside for a minute or sit by a window that's sunny and just breathe in the sunlight and let it permeate every cell. Close your eyes and feel it like permeating every cell of your body, and sort of, decalcifying anything that is like the dross, the non highest part of you, whether that's physical, mental, and emotional. And I do it in all three ways. And again, I really feel like many of you have finally seen your worth, are coming up to your highest potential within yourself. You're seeing your worth. You're working in connection with your highest self. Your challenge is really to stay focused. When you're not focused, everything around you is broken. When you don't harmonize the shadow within you, when you don't work through those places that have been broken, that needed nourishment, when you don't rise above that. God, I hope okay, we could see it. When we don't acknowledge the light within us and let it feed us, and really see the glorious spirit within, and nourish ourselves, learn to nourish ourselves with softness, with love, with acceptance, with good voices, even in the areas where we messed up. Like, look at this Magician card in the reverse. The sword of truth, of light, of understanding is crooked. It's not really a straight line. It's sort of wobbly. You're not really sure. The cup, a lot of the nourishment, a lot of the passion was spilled out. And even the pentacle, there are pieces missing. So it wasn't even, the resources may not have been used wisely, or maybe had been neglected. You didn't even notice them, right? And the wand is taking a chance. It's almost like a crapshoot. There's a pair of dice here, and it's almost like there's this unfocused energy and often that happens when we're in kind of a dark place. We're coming out of a lot of different traumas and things in our life. We're trying to heal. So it's kind of hard to see what you really want, what you really need, the direction you really want to go. Often we can get into that place where we no longer trust ourselves. We no longer trust that we can make the right judgment. Maybe there were many people in the past that told us, that we really didn't know, or that made us feel we didn't know, whether in school, whether it was schoolwork, or whether it was at home, or wherever it was. Just, how doubts creep up to where they affect you. And so, like I said, now you're learning to nourish yourself, and you're coming together with spirit. You're accepting spirit, and that within you, that the source within you to shine brightly, and you are projecting that outward. You're projecting that outward, and you're birthing yourself in you. And there's all these places within you that are healing, that are rainbows, that are shooting up light, that is expressing yourself. And you're learning to focus. Because this is in a challenge position, even though it's upright, it is the universe saying, stay focused on what you want. What is it that you want? If you don't know, that's okay. Because some of you in these groups, like, you could be in different places, right? You could be starting to feel like you're awakening, or some of you are much more awakened. It just depends. Take it as it resonates. And know that even if you're just starting on in your awakening, if you continue on that path, if you stay focused on that, if that's what you want, you will. You will become even more empowered. The sun is all about empowerment, prosperity, success, positivity, okay? Endurance to go forward with this empowerment, with feelings of worth, this endurance. And this is to stay focused. Like, look at the illumination of the light behind it. That again is that sun power, that power of illumination, desiring which way you want to go, how you want to go, staying very sharp, as above, so below. So as you're thinking about, you're bringing about, staying empowered, staying full of that light, of that emanation of spirit from within, and allowing it to permeate your world. That is as above, so below. And that is the magician. And a lot of you, what I see too, here too, on your foundation, you have the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups, what I'm feeling here too, is this pact you made with yourself, your lower self and your higher self. But not just that, the different parts of you, your yin and your yang, your active and your intuitive principles that are within you, the male and female, the anima and animus between you, the shadow and the light, the different aspects of self. And when I say shadow, I'm talking about the things you repressed, okay? Like maybe like in this card, there was all this feelings of non-worth. You repressed that. I don't want to feel that, but deep down you did. And then you fought that and you came out of that because you realized who you are and your empowerment, and you're allowing that to grow. Okay, but that's an everyday thing. It's showing up daily for that. You know, nobody, what is it that they say, the Buddhists say, like after enlightenment, the dishes, then we take that enlightenment into the real world so that we can manifest the world we want with gratitude, with joy, with empowerment and clarity. You know, the sword is clarity, and that clarity gives us that inkling of listening to that passion and inner child. What do we want to create? Because it is all about creating too. We need to create. We are beings of creation. So whatever it is that you're creating, and it doesn't have to be anything elaborate, it's whatever is calling to you, little bit, steps by steps, showing up. This is the major arcana. This is, the Fool would be 0. Number 1 would be the Fools. I mean, the Fool is 0. Number 1 would be the Magician. So you're learning how to put all this together to manifest. And that is directly out of this desire within you to be whole, to be one, to be whole. Okay, like this wholeness. That you have, this is your situation. And this is probably the reason why. On some level, like I could say that this is between you and another. It could have been between you, the Two of Cups, is a choice, a commitment. It could be between you and your higher self, or between you and your inner child, or you and another person, and finding your strength and spirit, and not allowing yourself to be dominated by the opinions and feelings of others. Yes, we listen to it respectfully, but as we individuate, we must learn to value ourselves, where you are now, where you are becoming. Now, some of you are already there, or some of you are getting there, but you are awakening to this possibility. Your past situation was the Three of Cups. And so there was a lot of you learning to be around others. And I really feel that for this, that some of you were very, very isolated. And your world may have seemed broken in places. There may have been a lot of distrust with others, you know. The world beats us up sometimes. We beat ourselves up too, but the world also can really beat us up and can make us question ourselves and question life, and kind of like here, take away the joy of life to where we don't even know which direction. We know there needs to be a change, but we don't know which way to go. And you are awakening from that. You're learning, and you're learning to trust yourself and fill your own cup with the nourishment, mind, body, and soul. To me, the threes are also not just about cooperation and community and celebration, but it's also levels of awareness too, you know, like beginning, middle, and end, or mastery, and or threes, meaning mind, body, and soul, or your inner child, your physical self, and your highest self. It could be any of that, but this is like a celebration now that you've been feeling. You're feeding yourself, and you're allowing others to feed you too, to nourish you. You're being more open, your heart space. You've decided baby steps, but many of you, and like I said, many of you, some of you are in a more open place, and others are you beginning to open. So this past, you're still feeling some of that of nourishing, of being open to the nourishment of others, and keeping healthy boundaries, but not being cynical. You have the Four of Cups is your your spirit card, which is also a challenge. And here, the Four of Cups, what I'm seeing too, what I'm feeling with the Four of Cups, was you didn't have a lot of faith. You didn't know which way you were going, perhaps. But now, little by little, as you're showing up for yourself, you're realizing that there are many cups available for you, many opportunities, and instead of passing them by, you're starting to tentatively, again, grasp some of them, look at some of them as you take time, because a lot of times the fours are about rest and renewal and also reevaluation. So reevaluating what is in your toolbox, your spiritual and your physical and emotional toolbox, and what can you bring together, again, like the Threes of Cups. Here we have the Four. What in there is important to you? And taking the time, especially after you've come out of this, dark, traumatic parts of life, and as you are enlightening, taking that time to see what is it that resonates with you, going slow, going at it, allowing it to happen without judging the outcome. Not like it could be a piece of music, a piece of art, a piece of whatever, just you. Like maybe I see somebody making some kind of garment, and even if the stitching isn't perfect, what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter. The mere act of you showing up to create helps to liberate, okay? Helps to liberate you. And so this is very important for you to remember that, not non-judgment, but just keep showing up and, trying this, trying that, trying as you evolve into what you want. And when I say try this and that, there are many things that are in your toolbox already. And picking them up again, looking at them, and maybe tweaking and saying, okay, well, this I don't want to work with. Or maybe you're seeing this, which is guided to this again, seeing things in a new light, okay, and giving yourself the time to do so. Yeah, the rainbows here. If somebody needs to kind of meditate on this right now, go ahead. You can pause the video and just look. And just look if you need to. I don't know if you can see all the rainbows. But anyway, moving forward, it's funny. You have a lot of cups here, and you have the Five of Cups for your future position. And the Five of Cups is seeing what there's left. Now, a lot of when we go through traumas, there's all this regret. There's all this pain, and we sort of live in that, whether this regret is over resources, whether this regret is over love, whether this regret is over self, where we let ourselves down. We didn't take a chance on something. Maybe an opportunity came by and we didn't take it, or maybe I don't know. All I'm saying, and you'll know. If this resonates with you, then you'll know. You are learning to see what you have left. To see all the good that you still have. These two cups, you're learning to nourish yourself and refill these cups that are there, that have potential, that have these opportunities, this things in your toolbox that are still worthy. You're picking them out and you are redefining them. You're growing something new, growing tulips. What are tulips? Tulips are a symbol of love. So here we have yellow tulips, and tulips are love and love for self. And they're also, look at here, the yellow, this brightness, this emanation of spirit, of as above, so below, of the universe coming down, of your higher self, your source. and your desire to become whole. You're tired of trying to find others to nourish you. You have learned to nourish yourself. And I really feel that in this group, you are awakening to the fact that you are the only one that really needs to nourish yourself. That nourishment comes from within. It permeates. It's in all things, and you draw it to you because it is part of you, and you are growing and you are blossoming, and it takes patience and endurance, but you've got it. You have it, because that is what the sun is all about. Your card, so the future you're planting, love for self and growth. I see it. You're taking the things that failed and you're putting them to the side, and you're looking at what you have, the resources, mind, body, and soul around you, and you're nourishing it. You're giving it, you're showing up little by little to allow it to blossom and grow. You have this, my God, cups, cups, cups. You have the 6 of Cups here for your card of self. And I see the 6 of Cups, and I know that the 6 of Cups is about nostalgia and about when you were younger. But what I'm really seeing here is the fact that your higher self and yourself, you're learning to nurture yourself. Those places that needed you when you were a child, you are learning to do that. And you're seeing the good places. It's as if you're awakening. And even though there was all this stuff, things that were in the past or in your youth that really hurt you, that really colored your world, there were also good things. And that's what this is about too, for your future. You're learning to see the good places, the good memories, the good things that did nourish you. And you're holding on to that because, it's as if the world is this duality, right? And even when we are with people, or in situations that were very dark and very painful, there is always some lesson, something good. Somewhere along the line, there was always someone, an aunt, an uncle, a book, a person, a teacher, somebody that had some kindness, some wisdom, some light that infused you, and you're learning to see the world, to see your life more balanced. Yes, it was all this other stuff that happened, this loneliness, this being alone, this sense of unwantedness for some of you. And I'm not saying all of you, but I am feeling the sense of unwantedness for a few of you. All of a sudden you realize you were wanted. You are worthy. There were people who wanted you. And so I see this as you becoming balanced within yourself. This is your card of self. Let me see. Yes. Your next card was the card of the situation, your surroundings. And before, where you felt you were at odds with yourself or with those around you or with your resources, all of a sudden, it's as I said, you've learned to see the potential. You've embraced, you've opened the door to the resources, to receiving mind, body, and soul, to receiving health, to receiving not just, and I want to say, every time you say health, you think wealth, but to receiving the positive, the sunshine, the light. Here's a star in the pentacle has a star, a 5-pointed star, and the star of hope. And you are learning to embrace that. That is in your environment right now. And there are people, you've opened the door, right? We were talking about this, opening up, of allowing ourselves to love, to not be so critical, or there's a word for it. Oh God, what is that word? Cynical. Okay, you're opening the door. You have boundaries. There's still the door. You have boundaries, but you're learning who to let in. You have roses for desire, because in your heart you have wanted this. You have wanted to be to play with others, okay? To engage with others. For some of you, you may have some new opportunities now that are coming in with maybe people that you couldn't work with, that now it's easier to work with them. Maybe projects coming together. I feel like there's more of a meeting of the minds between you and someone else. Now, this could be platonic or romantic. It could be family. It could be anything. It could be work related. You'll know what it means for you. But this is how I'm feeling, like there's an easiness. You're easing into this. You're allowing this to happen. And therefore, it's as if more is coming to you because you've opened your hands to receiving. Okay. Your challenge is to reassess or reevaluate what you are learning. You have the Page of Pentacles, so it's like seeing something new, how to apply these resources, mind, body, and soul. The earth is anything that deals with our health, learning, wisdom, finances, growth, stability, grounding. And it's as if you're looking at things from a different perspective. It could be the same book that you've had for a long time that maybe you didn't get, or some realization, something that you didn't understand before. And all of a sudden, because of this insight, because of this growth, because of this awareness, this desire for that you've desired, you've done the work, okay? And the universe is just helping you, right? Your higher self is helping you because you really have called for this. Because of that, this new insight is coming. And you don't have to hold on to things and look at them and not really understand them and try to, I think I know what's right. It's like, no, I'm opening up and looking at things a little bit differently. It's as if you can breathe. It's as if you've let your breath out. Instead of holding on, you're breathing and seeing things differently. And because of that, you're on a new adventure. You have the Fool, and it's as if the world is opening up for you and you are taking a risk. You are taking a chance on something new, a new direction in your life. Things are opening. You have this beautiful dove. I hope these cards are in the thing. Yeah. This beautiful dove. And you have a rose with desire. So you still have this desire. You have this beautiful dove of peace. There's a sense of peace as you're moving forward in this new direction in your life. And when I say this new direction in your life, it's like this awakening. It doesn't mean that everything, for some of you, it is radical change because you're ready, because you want it and you've stepped into it. And for others, it's little changes here and there that keep adding up. You are still being held. You're still suspended. Universe is still holding you up. Okay, so don't worry. And yet you are moving forward. The opposite would have been falling off recklessly. But now you have this faith. And again, look at the yellow pants and the yellow bag and the yellow hair. Again, this illumination from within. As above, so below. You're calling forth spirit to yourself and you're moving forward in peace to this new direction, this new cycle. You have one of the oracle cards that you have is desire. And this desire comes from, this is the awakening card. This is the judgment card. This is awakening to yourself, to knowledge, to wisdom, your third eye, the kundalini within rising throughout you, illuminating you, growing you. And you're very desired that you wanted this. You needed this to happen, this growth for you to happen. And I am going to go over here and we're going to pull a card and see what the universe has to say. Fine-tune your vision to express your unique qualities effectively. Yes, where was that? We had that in the challenge. ¿Cómo se llama? The magician. That was your challenge. It was right next to the sun. And so the magician is all about that focus. What do you want? Don't be too scared for some of you that are on this path. Many of you have already yeah, I know. And some of you are sort of like in that between. Don't be afraid if you don't know exactly. Just keep showing up, whatever it is. Whatever it is, just show up and do it. Splash paint, as I say, in whatever way, whether it's writing, a journal or writing a few pages or gratitude or going out and, dancing in the sun or dancing in your living room or whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, whatever it is, if you have this passion, this inkling, because you have all these cups too. And cups are a lot about this passion, this inner passion within. The cups are also about opening your heart and allowing yourself to receive, to take a chance on these ideas that are coming to you. And the cups are also about insight. What is coming up from your subconscious, this inner child, this desires that you have? Follow through, see where they lead, okay? Follow through and see where they lead. We have respond. When adventure calls, answer with excitement and courage. And this new path that I'm seeing, remember I said some of you, it could be a radical change or outcome of the Fool, but it could be little things, little steps, like, oh, buying yourself a little thing of watercolors and some paper and splashing paints, whatever it is, taking a chance. I see poetry for someone, a poetry reading, writing a poem, or going to a poetry read, whatever. Little steps, whatever it is, just answer that call. We also got trust. Rely on your inner compass. It knows the path you should take. Yes, you know what your inner compass is? It is the sun, that radiance within you, that powerful spirit within you. Trust. So important right now to have faith, to trust in yourself. You've come a long way. I keep getting you've come a long way, baby. I don't care if you're male, female, whatever you are. You've come a long way. Keep going, okay? Trust and keep going and celebrate. Recognize progress as your anthem and milestones as your celebration. That will empower you too. That joyousness of look how far you've come. I don't care if some of you just started, or if you're midway, or if you're at the point of almost graduation. It doesn't matter. Keep going and celebrate those wins. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate those wins. And the last card I got for you was integrate resilience into the foundation of your life journey. Remember that the sun is about endurance, empowerment, and moving forward. All right, my loves. That's what I have for you right now. I was told to get these two that were over here, and so I grabbed them. We have Empress energy for you and Nine of Cups, a wish fulfilled. So my dearest loves, Empress, she is nourishment of self, okay? Nourishing yourself. Everything you need is there. You're never alone. Again, the sunflower, that radiance, that love, that sense of giving, of belonging, not just for yourself, but opening that door to allowing, with boundaries obviously, but to actually allowing the flow, to trust that the universe, for some of you, that's resources, that's money, that's wishes, or some sort of manifestation that you're trying to bring about. Have faith because it's happening. It is unfolding now. It takes steps. Yes, another step, but keep going, because it isn't the outcome, the end of the journey that counts. It's all along the way that you find the goal. All right, my loves, that's what I have for you, group 1. If this, I'm spilling cards. If this resonated with you, then go ahead and maybe give it a thumbs up and like and share. That really would help. And leave me any comments that you want, how you feel, what you feel, don't be afraid. It's all good. I love you all. And we're moving on until next time. This is Amethyst Star Willow. We're going to look into group B in a minute. And for some of you, I'm compelled to say that sometimes A, B, and C, and I'm not saying this is the case, but sometimes I even have found that it is as if A, B, and C help illuminate different aspects of self. So I'm not saying to go there. I'm just saying for those that needed to hear it, and it's not all of you, so don't think it's all of you, because it's not. But for some of you that needed to hear that, I just thought I'd mention. Okay, let's get these out of the way so we can start on the next group. All right, let's put this over here since Kitty's no longer here. Let me take a sip. All right. All right, Group B. If you have chosen Group B, then this is your, ¿cómo se llama? Your group. your pile, whatever you want to call it. Sorry. Words sometimes so difficult. But anyway, so if you have chosen group B, you have the tourmaline. You have black tourmaline. This very rough black tourmaline. And black tourmaline is all about grounding and psychic protection. It takes away negativity, whether it's in your environment, whether it's in your mind, whatever it is, that negative energy, it helps to get rid of it. You can also take it and put it in the sunlight when you're done working with it, or you can rinse it underwater, put it by the sun, by the moonlight, on the windowsill, whatever. But don't forget to always cleanse your stones. The only two stones you don't ever have to cleanse is selenite and blue kyanite. Kyanite. So those two resonate with such a high frequency, you don't ever have to cleanse them. Now, other stones, it's good to either run them underwater, you put them by the moonlight on the windowsill, or leave them outside on a table, or gather sunlight. Some people say you can put them on the ground. Be careful putting them into the ground, because I have had huge crystals that I've put in the ground, forgotten about, and 6 or 8 months later came back and part of the crystal had dissolved into the ground, which is okay, because obviously the ground needed that. And the crystal where I put it was this huge bucket of lemongrass. I mean, humongous, like barrel of lemongrass that had from here grown huge, and they were like waves of antenna. And I use that to transmit and receive insights from the universe and from the stars. So anyway, another story there, but don't worry about that. So getting back to groundedness, to energetic cleansing, and physical cleansing of your environment, and protection and purification. So that's what black tourmaline is for. So we're going to stick this other one over there. So group B, that is your stone. We're going to put this over there, and we're going to begin with your reading. Again, these are intuitive readings, and these are, ¿cómo se llama? It is timeless. So whenever you come to this read, if it's meant for you, you'll know it. We begin with the Queen of Wands. I believe that's we begin with the Empress. How could I be so foolish? We begin with the Empress, and the Empress is your situation right now, where you stand, this empowering sense of nourishment, where you are waking up to loving yourself, to love. So it could be to love, period, whether that's romantic, platonic, or both. Awakening to love, listening to your intuition with the crow, listening to nature, and being very aware of the elements and the elementals, being very aware of spirit, of nature, and being very aware of this love, this heart that you carry, and this rootedness in the ground, in the earth, in the soil. And I feel like grounding, like all the way down to the depths of the earth, to bring up this kindness, this love, this nourishment for self and for others, because you definitely share. And so I feel like you are not only nourishing yourself, you have the capacity, you are nourishing others. I get kingdom for somebody. So, your kingdom, your environment, your, ¿cómo se llama? Your challenge right now is the Seven of Wands. So that's really having to stand on your ground and reevaluating things. To me, every time I see sevens, it's all about reevaluation, meditation, looking for sort of like the wheat and the chaff, or giving things time to percolate and grow, and also having healthy boundaries, not allowing others to roll over you just because you're very nourishing now and loving, and because you are taking care of others. Don't forget to have healthy boundaries, because sometimes when we're kind, when we are giving, when we're joyful, when we're open, there could be others that think that we're easy. Easy to take advantage. And even if they don't mean it in a manipulative or not in a bad way, right? Even if they don't mean it in a bad way, even if it's just little manipulations to get their way, have your healthy boundaries, because you have fought long and hard to get where you are right now. This has not been an easy road for many of you in this group. Okay. Your foundation is the Nine of Pentacles. This desire to be whole, 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 which is what I see with the Empress. This was a desire for you, this desire to work with nature. Many of you are magical. Many of you like to work with the elements and nature spirits. Many of you give back. And this desire, not only for that, but for this independence of self. Many of you were tired of relying on others. Maybe, like I said, some of you were very kind, and maybe you gave a little too much. It's taken you a long time to get to, some of you, to get to this point. You may want to see group A. And why I'm saying this, because some of you started out, in not a very empowered way. You had to lift yourself up. You had to do a lot of inner work to get where you are today. And not just inner work, but you had to work on the physical realm as well as the mental and emotional and interior realm, spiritual realm, to create this, to be in a position to help others. And there are still those, so be careful with this Seven of Wands. There are still those that, and that's in your challenge, that will test your authority. So stand your ground. And like I said before, this foundation is the sense of independence, of knowing your worth, of not needing others' accolades or validation or assistance, realizing that that power comes within you, and you're very rooted in that right now, very grounded. In the past, you have the Hierophant here, and that's all about, a lot of you sought, and some of you are still feeling this, knowledge. And some of this knowledge could be esoteric in nature. I feel for some of you this was esoteric in nature, something new. So I feel like the shadow and the light, in order for you to understand yourself and get to this place, you had to learn to merge the shadow and the light, all parts of you, to really look at yourself. And, people can judge us very harshly. And if we don't know ourselves, we can let those voices become our own. We can take their opinions as truth. And you've learned not to do that. Again, your foundation was this strength, this independence. I will, I am determined. I am determined to be whole, to be myself, to see myself and my worth. I am determined. I am independent. I see that. I acknowledge that. Never mind whether others say. I look and I see what I've accomplished. I look and I see how I've helped others. I look and I see the voices of those that try to diminish my light, my soul, my voice, my spirit. And so you sought higher wisdom, because all the answers are within us, but sometimes we need guides, whether they are in the form of a book or books, whether in the form of some sort of education. It could be online, it could be YouTube, it could be anything, right? Whatever it is, you have persisted in that knowledge to find that integration of self, so that your own highest self may bless you. Your own self comes upward, becomes whole, which is where you are right now. One of the things to be aware of, again, this is another challenge card. This is the Spirit card. I always say the Spirit card. Some people call it the above, what is obvious, what's in your consciousness. This is a call. This is the Five of Pentacles. This is a call. Here I see someone who is, actually, it seems like someone who is either studying or playing piano, a little shadow of self. And this person is looking at that, focusing on that, and that feeling of you're not good enough, of you're alone, you don't know enough, you're not worthy. Those deep-seated things that you came out of, the universe is saying, be careful, because those voices could return. Again, this challenge in this Seven of Swords is this, you're standing ready. You've got those boundaries. There may be people who will still challenge you. Know your worth. Know your truth. Know who you are. Stay empowered, okay? what you have for your future is actually the star. This beautiful, beautiful, beautiful integration of light and dark, of as above, so below. And when I say of light and dark, or the shadow within you, it's taking those pieces, even those pieces. That was a shadow, right? This little guy that feels so little, that doesn't believe in self, that I see. And then here I see another little person trying to come out of that shadow, this little shadow self. And there's this little thing, this other part of self trying to come out, try to play that piano or study or whatever, and saying, I can, I can, I can. And so don't get lost in the I can't. That's the warning. And this is your future self. This is the star, this transmutation, this pouring from heaven to earth, from the highest self to us, from within, from this emanation of the brightness within you and all around you, that is the divinity, that spark of the infinite, that is you, the I am, coming together with the smaller self and creating this. And the star is also of healing and of hope. So you are still healing these things. You are still studying. You're still integrating. For some of you, you're still integrating that shadow. That work isn't just overnight, number one. And the more we learn and the more we grow, the more there is, they say, yet to grow. But it doesn't matter, because it is the journey that unfolds. It isn't like some destination. It is the journey as it unfolds that we are enriched, that we find the pockets of gold here and there that enrich us. And so this is the take time, the star is saying in your future, take time to integrate, take time to heal. Don't be in such a rush to push forward. As the more you ground, and you release the negative, the more you ground and release the negative, the more you flow into this lightness, into the space, into the illuminating spark of the infinite that is you, the I am. Okay, and that is your future. Card of self is the Eight of Pentacles. And so I see this as a continuation of study. Yes, there's the two aspects of you, that you've learned to integrate. You may want to see group one, because this is all about taking the parts of us, the parts that were shadow, the parts of us that were either angry, that had this pent-up anger. A lot of times when we are abused, when we go through a lot of things in life, especially when you're young and you don't really realize it. And then, of course, it sets up a thing of what is familiar. So it just seems that you keep repeating these patterns and attracting these people because you really deep down don't feel your worth, whatever it is, until you get out of that cycle, which a lot of you, I feel, have, and you're still doing the work. So these things that we repress are the shadow, the sides of us, our regrets, our mistakes, things of that nature. And sometimes people are afraid to look at their shadow because they're like, oh, they whipped themselves, especially if you grew up in a religious environment where everything was judged. Every single thing was judged. And you felt like you were just, my God, you just like, why are you here even, So what I'm saying here is, in this card of self, you are still integrating the shadow. You're studying, you're learning to master, to become one with yourself, to seeing the need of the ego to be strong and not be ashamed that you're strong. There's a difference between acting and reacting. Let's say someone is cruel, you put up the boundaries, or someone is nasty or naughty, you put up the boundaries, you don't tolerate it. There's a difference between putting up the boundaries and not letting it get to you, and turning around and just screaming and yelling and degrading yourself, lowering yourself into that very dark place because of the rage within that has been triggered by the memories and by all the occasions of all the poo that you had grown up with, that had been thrown on you. Because life is weird and people are weird, and sometimes the smallest people have to be the meanest to feel empowered. And so a lot of you in this group have gone through a lot of crap. And anyway, you are learning to integrate And that is your work. This is self, and you're very studious about it. I see you writing down. I see you learning. It's funny because, here we have the Hierophant. This is the past. You're studying, but I see it as a continuation of this too, of refining, of letting, of knowing your worth. And, like this, knowing that you're the Empress, male or female, it doesn't matter. It's that nourishing, that empowering part of self, that creative and strong and just super blessed, super powerful part, this you that you are. We still keep moving forward with that. We still have to remind us because there's always people, there's always life, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's people. It's just life that kind of gets in the way. And so we have to remind ourselves to have that boundary and to remember who we are and to allow that child, that greatness within us. Remember, this is a challenge card, not to allow those dark voices or those voices of doubt to peck away at us, but to release that inner strength within, that inner illumination within, to make us whole. I see like a blanket, a balm, 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 I don't know how you pronounce it, of soothingness around you. And you slow and steady. Pentacles are slow and steady. No rush here. A lot of grounding, a lot of meditation, a lot of insight coming out. You have the Queen of Cups for your surrounding, your environment. And that environment, a lot of times your environment could just be your state of mind. It could be your environment to me. And here what I'm feeling is your psychic environment, what you are allowing into your psychicness, which is maybe why I pick these at random. I'm not at random. I pick them. I don't think about it before, like I'll do the cards. Again, same as I do with the decks. It's like I'm called to do them. And so I'll do them and then, grab a certain deck and then I'll say, what does group 2 need to hear? And then it's the same with the stones. And I got the black tourmaline. So the black tourmaline is, again, about grounding, about finding that within you. And when we're grounded and when we're calm, we see the subconscious opens, the psychic awareness opens, our third eye opens, our emotions open, and we are able to receive information, and we are able to heal the shadow, for the shadow also comes up. But as a queen, doesn't matter if you're male or female, you have mastered this emotion, but in a nourishing way, like the Empress. You nourish, you heal, you help, you listen. So you're doing this for yourself and your shadow self, your ego, the good parts of yourself, those parts that, we are a totality of many things. Many things in our lives. And it's how we integrate that and see that and become whole from it that is important. And you're drinking from that cup. You're also allowing your shadow to drink from the healing waters of love. That's what I'm feeling. This is your sort of another challenge, sort of, some of the things that you may fear is being overburdened. And some of you, what I feel is that there's a lot of things on your table, a lot of studying, a lot of learnings, a lot of things that you want to accomplish. And at times you may feel burdened by this. But again, the whole message is to take it slow and go little by little and to uncover things with light, illuminated from the depths of yourself. And that's what I mean by light, illuminated, even the shadows, even the darkest things, bringing it out to the light to examine, to see what parts of it resonate with you. And don't be overburdened. This is the other challenge, is don't try to take on everything at once. Allow it to flow. Don't force it. Don't push it. Ground, center yourself, believe in yourself, nourish yourself, and allow those things to come up little by little, and let go of what you no longer need to carry. Because some of you may be carrying some regrets or resentments that don't serve you. Some of you may be, remember what I said before, that because you're nourishing and kind, your other challenge, the Seven of Wands, that there may be others that try to step over your boundaries and manipulate or try to get you to do more than you should. Don't allow it. Have your healthy boundaries. Take what you can and leave the rest. It doesn't mean forever. It means for now. if you feel like it's your responsibility. But allow yourself time to know whether or not it really is. And don't take on responsibility that is yours, that is not yours, rather, because by doing that, you are enabling others to shirk off their own growth and responsibility. And that's not your job as an empress, whether you're male or female. You are to nourish, but you have to know how and to what point, and you must nourish yourself as well. For your outcome, you have the Six of Pentacles. So there's definitely a need for balance here with not a need, but what I'm saying is, yeah, maybe a need. It came out as a need. But I also feel like this is something, a realization that there must be a give and take, a balance of give and take. Again, here to nourish, but to know when to hold back and say, no, I need to nourish me. I can't give it all away. And that includes the shadow aspects of self that may try to come up again, those feelings of unworth, that anger, that rage, and say, no, I balance that. I balance that. I ground, I breathe, and I balance that with reason. I balance that with heart, with that openness. Remember, we had here in the environment the Queen of Cups, that nourishment of love, that opening of heart. And yet the shadow is here standing behind, because the shadow is the ego that says, I know when to say no. I know when to put down that boundary and say enough. I know how much to give, and I know how much to say enough. Okay? When to say enough. Wow, you have the 9 here of, I believe that's air. The 9 of, no, you have the 11 of air. Ah, okay, sorry. This is body and mind. This is as above, so below. This is all about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and how you're manifesting. Remember, that's one of your challenges, is not to get back into the dark place of thinking that you don't have the power, or that you don't have the worth, or that you don't have the knowledge. This is allowing spirit to manifest through you. Spirit, which is you, your I am that I am, your highest self, allowing it to come down into you and to integrate that. Where do we have the star? And that is the integration of the mind and the body, and the as above, so below. And the star is about allowing that to happen. Allowing yourself time to rest, not rushing through, time to heal, time to integrate, because it takes time, but also knowing that your thoughts are going to manifest. So allow yourself to think brighter, to think the best, to commune, to get in touch with that higher parts of self, and then to listen, and to put those boundaries to those, to know when to put those boundaries to those that are naysayers or saying against you. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. I felt like I should grab this one. Believe in yourself and your ability to carry out your dream. Let's see what else we get. Your life is at a turning point right now. You are ready. You are. Like I said before, some of you are in the beginning stages of this. Some of you are in the middle stages of this. Some of you have come even further, are mastering this, Again, for some of you and not all, you may want to go to group A to see that. Okay? A career path will be highly successful. Trust the magic of newness. So that's important for somebody to know. This career path, this magic of newness. You have so much to offer to the world. Don't ever doubt your contribution. And, you know, I keep coming back to this outcome of the 10 of Wands. Don't allow yourself to think that you don't, because those thoughts, those negative thoughts, and here's something on the 5 of Pentacles, we have to be careful with those negative thoughts. They can squash us. They can dim our light. They can make the burden of life and moving forward very heavy. So do not allow that to happen. Remember, mind, body, and soul, as above, so below. Think highest thoughts. And by that, I don't mean like fluffy bunnies or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about getting in touch with that inner radiance within you, of that connection to yourself, which is divine, bringing that down, doing some studies, some integration. If you need studies, and it doesn't mean, I mean, you could grab a book from the library, whatever. You could do meditation. All of these things is what I'm feeling. Journaling, your own study. This is part of self right now. And right above it in the environment, I feel is this psychic connection, this awakening of sense, this opening your heart and your mind to this information, and to drink from that cup of healing water that is so important. I don't know why. It says something from your past will resurface. It's okay to revisit. And that could very well be this challenging card of the Seven of Wands too, because again, the Seven of Wands, the sevens are also about what is that word that I just had it a minute ago when we first talked about it? Reevaluating something. And it's okay to reevaluate things. Okay, it's okay to reevaluate things, and it will all make sense soon. I think for many of you, it is making sense. A lot of this is making sense for you, and the last card I got is the wheel will turn in your favor. Keep going. Yeah, keep going. Don't rush it, but keep going. This is what I have for you, and I wanted to know if there was anything else that I had for you. So I'm just going to look. Temperance. Okay, because I had a feeling something had to come. And it's funny because temperance is all the same thing. It's about balancing. So balancing, and she's very balanced. It's the energy, right, of the Empress, has learned to balance the shadow and the light. The shadow and the light, when I go back to that, it's about the repressed, the anger, and then the illumination of I'm being told the Christ-like. And for me, the Christ-like, it's, I was born and raised Catholic, and oh my God, nuns, blah, 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 so much stuff. But the one thing I took away is it doesn't matter if it's Krishna, if it's Kuai Yin, if it's Christ. There is this emanation of pure radiance, source, that is in all things, that is so bright, that is this illuminating force, the sun that drives us, that heals us. Get in touch with that divine spark within you and find a way to temper the shadow and the light. Hold it up to explore, to revisit those places, those wounds that you are working yourself, that you are working through as you continue to study, as you continue to integrate, as you continue to explore the light and the dark, the shadow and the illuminated places with you, or to bring the shadow up to illumination and see what gold there is within, because the shadow is our friend. I mean, the universe is light and dark, and by that I mean if in the nothingness, the light comes. But there is a peace in that nothingness too. If you've ever experienced, some of you may have experienced that, and there's a place of like where there is nothing, and yet there is this energy within that nothingness, this calm, this peace. So it isn't about black and white when I talk about shadow and light. That's not what I'm talking about. And for some of you, maybe look into some Jungian teachings about the shadow and the light. There's a lot on YouTube. There's a lot of books in the library. So just something for you to think about. So that's what I have for you, Group B. If this resonated with you, then please hit like and share, because that would definitely be great. For the algorithms, I don't know if that's really important for my algorithms. That's not really why I'm here. And it doesn't matter whether somebody saw it or nobody saw it. I'm sure, I always get at least a view. And I always feel, and it's my intention, that this goes to whoever needs to hear it, and that it does bring some clarity, some understanding, some illumination, some comfort. All right, my friends. That is what I have for Group B. We are now going to go ahead and do Group C, but give me a minute, please, to shuffle a few cards. The timestamps will be in the description, so you will see that in the description. The timestamps. Whoa, come back here, you. And, yeah. All right, we'll leave these here for a minute. And, interesting. All right, we'll leave that here for a minute. All right, Group C. If you have chosen Group C, then this is a reading for you. And you have picked the Pink Petalite. Petalite is all about expansion and tranquility. It's about opening up to your awareness to the higher realms, or to your higher self. It's manifesting the spiritual into the physical, or as above, so below. Okay? So if that has been for you, Group C, if you have chosen Group C, then the Pink Petalite is your stone. All right, so we're going to go over here. We're going to put this over there, and we're going to start with your reading. Okay, these are intuitive readings. If you've come to this, this reading is timeless. Whenever you've come, take what resonates. If it doesn't, just move on. And if it does, then great. So we begin this. Your situation is the Five of Wands. And so for many of you right now who have shown up for Group C, there has been some sort of competition, competitiveness, some field of competitiveness in your life. Now, it could be competitiveness with projects, the projects competing, vying for your attention. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be career, it could be, I'm getting romance. And for some of you, so some kind of competing romance, attention for, or a some sort of competition going on, some sense of competing going on. Your challenge is to be like the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is someone who has mastered their emotions. Now, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. It is the energy of someone who helps to nourish themselves and others, but has already learned how to balance their emotions. So in other words, they know how to act, not react. So it's important for you, especially right now, if there's a lot of commotion around you, or if there's in your environment or in your life, if there's even with you, within yourself, if you have like conflicting perspectives about things, is to get grounded, to get very grounded, and to look for insights within yourself, within your crown chakra, allowing that illumination to come down, but also your third eye, your psychic, your intuition to come forth. You might try scrying, you know, like whether it's like a crystal ball or whether it's water. I have a crystal ball. Actually, I've had this for decades and decades. My God, poor thing, she's gone through so much. I see a triangle too, purple triangle for some of you. So the triangle too is the element of, I believe that is the element of fire. So for some of you, the purple flame of transmutation might be important for you. All right, hold on. Sorry, I don't generally bring my ball out to scry. I am 70 going on 71. I believe I've had that ball since I was 19 years old. I found it in Chicago years and years ago in a little store, and I always wanted one. But a bowl of water will do. A mirror will do. A piece of obsidian, black obsidian, will do. I see the star and the fish. The star is healing. It's about hope. The fish is about bringing up from the depths of our soul that wisdom. So being very still, being very grounded, allowing yourself to be illuminated by your highest self and by thoughts of the highest self, and flowing with things, but not getting involved with all the mishmash of whatever is happening around you. And also, for those of you that are looking at this, that are feeling like, I'm not sure which way to go, there's many areas, and they're all vying for your attention as far as within you, right? Getting ground centered and allowing, with that breath, allowing the illumination to come to you. You'll know that inner wisdom will come and will start to give you clarity. So that is your challenge. Okay, so whether it's on your own or whether it's with others, again, the same message for your challenge is to look within and see what is coming up and remain very calm. Remember, the King and Queen of Cups are masters of emotion. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It's masters of the emotions. And with the King of Cups, it's about action. Most kings are about, Yang is about actions, about constructing, creating something, where the queens are about nourishing something, right? So what are you creating? Don't get mixed up with this. Allow it to flow, like this say, allow it to flow till you can gain clarity. Your foundation is Queen of Wands. A lot of you have had to work through a lot. Maybe there was in the past, there may have been, this isn't this situation, but what I'm feeling here is that many of you had to find your own sovereignty, had to find your own will, your own purpose, and had to not only nourish yourself, but others around you. You had to help them stand up too. It could be the people who were in your life. I'm seeing little ones for some of you, but I'm also seeing significant others for others. I'm also seeing a career like your could be the boss, and so you had to kind of lift your I'm getting students, but not just students, your coworkers or employees too. And I see that now you're completely illuminated here. This was your will, your desire, as above, so below. You're making it happen. You're manifesting. You wanted this. So there's still, like I said, right now, this is a situation. And just know that this sense of groundedness, this sense of you are this person. This is who you are, who you wanted, and be very, very, but instead of being super fiery and argumentative, because fire and fire, you got to be careful, is to be more water now, receptive to that inner voice within you, to the subconscious, to the third eye, to the crown chakra. In the past, it was definitely a feeling of holding on to something, of not sharing, of having to protect yourself. Typically, this is resources, but I'm also feeling like it's not just about resources. And I see this wall, this gate, this balcony, whatever you call it, this fence. And in the past, and this may still feel a little bit, you still have some feelings about this. There was a need to really stay closed up and not allow. You're shutting out. Look, it's like she's shutting out the village. There's a fence, and she's shutting out the rest of the village, the rest of the people. She's not. She, he, it isn't allowing anything to get close to whatever she holds in this purse that is sacred to her. Okay, and it may be because there's been a lot. Like I said, there's been a lot of. A bit of fighting here and there. Maybe the environment hasn't been that conducive to allowing you to be super open, okay? I feel like for some of you, there's still this feeling of that, but there was this need to really excel from that, to really believe in yourself and bring out that radiant part of self. Now, sometimes there's a thing called the shadow and the light. And sometimes, even though it's very radiant, if it gets arrogant, now it's going into shadow again. You're taking something very positive and going into shadow. I'm not saying that's what's happening here. That's not what's happening here. What I'm saying is that because it's it's a fire energy, we must always be careful that we don't become overstimulated and start, even though we're so bright, we start getting arrogant and dip into the shadow aspect of confidence, which would be arrogance, right? And so again, the challenge is to be very calm, to be very bright, to be very take time out. You have your spare card is the Hangman. Take time out to see things from different perspectives, but also, and to shine your light again. Here, it's funny because both of these are very illuminated in the crown. Very illuminated. But the Hangman also speaks to me that there may be some, not just delays, but there may be, what's the other word that I'm looking for? I feel it. I feel it. What's the word? Things may take time. There may be a bit of a pause between. There needs to be breath between action, and which is probably why you have this King of Cups challenge. Like whatever is happening here, it's gonna take time to work it out, and you need to allow breath to give it time to settle. Not being too closed, but having that balance between openness and close, like the King of Cups, of emotion wise. Okay. Future card, there is some heartache. From what I see, there's still some things. It doesn't surprise me. Like I said before, a lot of times we have 1 foot here and 1 foot here. So you have the Four of Pentacles really in the past, really having to guard something. Could have been your worth, your sense of self. Definitely there was something within you, the universe rising within you, of needing to believe in yourself. There are still broken pieces of you. There's still some shadow areas. There's still places that really hurt you. And by shadow areas, I mean areas that have of pain that have not been resolved, of trauma, of betrayal that have not been resolved yet. And this is something that in the future, you're still going to go through. Immediate future, 1 foot here, 1 foot here. You're still guarding yourself, and you still have some work to do. Even though this card of foundation, this inner self of you is so very, very brilliant. There's psychicness. I see that black cat too, is this psychic awareness, this other awareness. It's funny, like to me, I see this as the shadow self in union with, like, there's this balance that you've learned. It's funny, the triangles again. I'm seeing these triangles again. All right, let's keep moving. I'm not quite certain about this for me, but I feel like you understand this. Whoever this is meant for, you get this. Even if I don't completely get this part right here. Yeah, let me just give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay, this has to do with a new insight. When you gain this insight, you recognize, oh my God, this is the Phoenix. This is the Ace of Wands. When you got this foundation, there was an insight that led to this, to your awakening within this incredible power of who you are, where you can command and manifest your life the way you wanted. Your dreams. Some of you actually have the power to manifest, to create a career, to create the life, to create the space that you want. You have such faith. There's something deep within you that has such faith that this has brought all this about, is because of this awakening, this renewal, this Three of Wands movement, this movement into a rebirth, a releasing of your light, a releasing of your light. Then this is going to, that's why this is awakening. That's why you're awakening. And this situation, it could be that every time we start to awaken, when we start to awaken, there may be others that say, no, I don't want you to. It doesn't serve their purpose. It could also be ego. It could be fear within you that says, no, no, no. Have faith. You are the King of Cups. This is your challenge, being the King of Cups. It's your challenge to take it slow, okay? To see things from a different perspective. Look at things in you. You already have with that light, with the rebirth. It's as if you got this insight that caused this rebirth to happen. All right, card of self, moving forward, Two of Pentacles, balancing. Doesn't surprise me. You have to learn to balance the heart and the mind, the shadow with the illumination. Okay, the parts of self that were angry or whatever of with, and some of this serves you. We need a certain amount of anger, but we can't give into it. In other words, we have to act from a place of strength, not react from a place of, you know, when emotions are high, intelligence is low. So we don't want to react like crazed zombies. Okay, so there's this need for balance, but this need for balance is also about these things that are happening around us or within us. There's a need to balance these forces. It's a dance I'm getting. There's like this dance. Let's come back to that. In your environment, there's a lot of anxiety over this. Wow. Whew. It's a lot of, it's in your mind too. But look, see all these, all this shadow, all this anxiety, all these thoughts. But there is the light bird that's trying to get through, to illuminate you, to allow the sun to come up, to allow the sun to shine, to clear away this, a lot of this pain, a lot of this darkness, a lot of this, there's inner work that needs to be done with this group. A lot of inner work. You're learning, you're getting there, you're balancing. You are. I'm being called to look at this right now. Journey. Yeah, this inner journey. That's what I'm really feeling, like there's this inner journey within you to move forward. Here it is again, the shadow. There's this, the night and the light. This, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the night or with the shadow, except that the shadow is the places a lot of times where we lack the knowledge, we lack the insight. We are so consumed with the traumas, the pain, that we can't quite see past us. We let it consume us, and you can't allow that to happen, because if you do, this is, and then for some of you, you are, you know, struggling with this, but I feel like you're going to be okay. Just be aware of it. That's why it's here. It's for you to be aware of it, for you to be aware of this. And you have to go on this journey. And there needs to be this journey, to me, is this blending of the two, of the shadow and the light, this integration of spirit. It's funny, this entire reading for all of you, every group here has been in some way or another about this journey. All right, hold on a minute. You have the Seven of Cups as another challenge, having to decide. Funny, because in your situation, there's this vying, this competition. And here it could be, again, this competition for ideas, for perspectives, of, or for ways of moving forward. Which way do you move forward? You know, and this is something that will come up, which is your other challenge of how to be, is A, to know about your light, to embrace that, but also to find, you're finding those answers within by being calm, by not pushing, right? Oftentimes our challenged cards are where we find our answers. When we are unafraid to look at those challenging places, when we can sit with them and analyze them gently and from another perspective, we can all of a sudden see clearly, and we're able to push through the barriers, the blocks that were around us. By the way, this petalite, funny that it came. This is about tranquility and expansion, about manifesting and evaluating and elevating awareness. So certainly something to think about too here. You have two outcome cards that came out. Again, I see this Two of Swords. This is a choice. I'm seeing this as back and forth, back and forth. You're back and forth, back and forth. Many of you in this group of trying to untangle yourself from some of those awful places within that held you back, those traumas, that shielding of yourself. Some of you, sometimes we need therapy, okay? And I'm not saying to go get therapy. I'm saying that therapy is out there. We can be therapists for ourselves by reading. We can go to YouTube. There's a lot of different channels. We can get a therapist, but we need a different way of looking at things. And that in itself is a therapy, allowing yourself to be calm, to hang upside down, to look at things from a different perspective, and to give yourself time. You're going to be, this hangman means too that it's going to take time. You're not going to come out of this in one day, okay? It takes time to heal. But this Nine of Swords, that you're struggling with all this anxiety, of fear, this indecisiveness, this sense of battling, of having to battle with yourself, with others, and this outcome of the Two of Swords, of having to make a decision, but I'm also seeing it as back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I also see the need, this outcome, this need to move away from it. This is a Six of Swords, and when my outcome cards fell out, I got both of these. They fell out of the deck. And I think it's strange. I mean, it's not strange. It really makes sense to me. But there's a definite need to move away from this. When the twos come out, it's about choices, right? It's about choices. Twos are about choices and commitment. So card of Self, Two of Pentacles. Right? So you have, you're back and forth, and you're trying to find the balance. You're trying to heal and find the balance, figure out the meaning, understand it. You're trying to figure out which way is the best way to go. It's not obvious to you. Not every path is right for you. You're just not sure right now, okay? And that may be causing you a lot of anxiety too. How do I move forward? Get in touch with self, pray, meditate, ask your guides, ask spirit, ask the universe to send you the information you need. Look to your dreams. Go to a bookstore, go to the library, see what books may fall out of a shelf or something that calls to you. Definitely focus on something brighter. Stop focusing on worst case scenarios. A lot of Nine of Swords is all about that. And choose, this is a very hard decision, choose to move away. The choice is here in the outcome, but so is the Six of Swords, which is moving away, even though you're not taking anything with you, as far as leaving behind a lot of this pain and moving away from that to get another perspective, to allow yourself to heal, to allow yourself to heal. It's going to take time. You have the Page of Wands. What are you planting? What seeds are you planting? You have to plant positive seeds, and you want to. Now I understand the Queen of Wands. This is your core. Your core is the Queen of Wands. So I don't care if you're male or female. This is confidence. Your core desires this. Your core, your illuminated self, your spark of the infinite. And you're being given a chance to grow something new. What are you going to grow? Choose to leave behind what doesn't serve you. The thoughts, the emotions, those feelings. Rise above it. Know your core and plant something new. Wow. And you have the King of Wheels next to the Page of Wheels. So this is the starting point, and throughout the whole, you are learning how to manifest, how to bring about, how to plant those seeds. And here is when you have matured and you have mastered how to plant the seeds that you've planted, so that they can bring you the best health. And in this, I'm seeing it as health. Although for some of you that may be anxious over money, it's okay. Sometimes we can't hold on to things. It means balance, okay? Balance also needs with desires where it comes to money, because we have Pentacles too. When it comes to health. What else? Is there something? I'm being drawn to come over here. And this card came out. Assemble. Create a life mosaic that showcases beauty in both shadow and light. In both shadow and light. Okay, this is giving me a little bit of clarity too. Gosh, felt like I got hit in the chest with that one. There's going to be, for this group, it's going to take time. For this group, you are in a bit of shadow and light in life. Meaning that, and I'm not just talking internally now, I'm talking what is manifesting, what has manifested around you. You may be in places that aren't exactly where you want to be. Maybe you don't have exactly as much as you need or feel that you need. create a life that showcases beauty in both light and dark. It means in both light and shadow. It means taking the best of what you have and making a synthesis of it. You know, parts of your life, part of the things in life may not be exactly how you want it to be, but it doesn't mean that you can't look at the things that are positive in your life and integrate those and use those to create too. Okay? Maybe you don't have a dozen eggs and you have 6 people in your family and you want to have a breakfast with, everybody gets 2 eggs apiece, scrambled eggs, right? But you have 4 eggs. Okay. What can you do with those 4 eggs to feed 6 people? Are there herbs that you can put in there? Are there veggies that you can put in there? Look around. Look in your cupboard. Do you have some, you know, spices? Do you have a little bit of milk? Do you have some toast? I'm getting somebody cutting up bread and adding it to the scrambled egg with milk and making French toast. I'm seeing someone else taking little squares of what do you call those things? Croutons and some spices, putting it in the scrambled egg, throwing cheese, and making some sort of omelet. And I see some greens from your garden. I don't know what they are. I don't know if it's chives. I don't know if it's kale. I don't know what it is, but I'm seeing greens being chopped up and put in. My point is that is creating a life mosaic that showcases beauty in both light and shadow. And if you are still struggling with this, even though this is your challenge to be like this King of Cups, but we're not always, even though it's our challenge, it doesn't mean that we're always in that place. We may dip and fall, right? Dip and fall. We get to that place and then we kind of fall back and we get up again. And so in those places, take the light that you are learning, take the light that you are perceiving, and learn to balance the two. How do you do that? How do you balance the two is what I'm feeling for you guys. Okay, that's what I have for you, Group C. I hope that this helped you in some way. If this reading did not resonate, then leave it. It's not for you. And if it did, please give me a thumbs up and share. Leave your comments. I would love to hear your comments. Also, there's Group B and C. The timestamps are in the description. I love you all. And until next time, this is Amethyst Star Willow.